The Rocket Review is sponsored by Why Not Saloon.
We're thrilled to have back on the show Kayla Reeves and Al Pitrelli. It's been a few years, but you know them from Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And Trans-Siberian Orchestra is going to be back on tour this year doing the last Christmas Eve ever, but it's not the last one. So Kayla, it's great to have you and Al back on the show.
Well, thank you for having us back, and it's been a while. Let's not wait that long next time.
So Kayla, how do you get ready to sing these incredible songs with huge range with Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
Well, you know, I always say it's a marathon, not a sprint, and you just got to stay hydrated and pace yourself, you know. Just take care of yourself, a lot of self-care, and rest when you can.
She's being way too humble, dude. She's just awesome out of the gate, so don't listen to any of this.
Al, you've been with Trans-Siberian since 1999, playing incredible guitar with them. How do you get your chops ready each year for these massive tours with TSO?
Well, I've been sitting next to Paul O'Neill for 30 years since we first recorded this thing. So like anything, I think we've had this conversation before, like watching one of your children grow up from infancy to its 30s, you know? So 30 years ago, you know, we learned how to do what we do. The trajectory has taken us on this journey. For me, you know, it's not that big of a deal. I'm surrounded by the most talented people on stage and underneath the stage, behind the stage, above it. Everybody does a great job. You know, I just keep my eye on everybody, you know.
With everything going on in the show, from the pyro, from the lights, everything in a Trans-Siberian Orchestra show, how are both of you pulling this stuff off musically?
Yeah, they're breaking down, moving on, and doing a 400-mile drive to get to the next day to do another 2 o'clock show. That's why I acknowledge our crew every show, because without them, we're not doing our jobs. It's an impossibility.
Right.
But keep in mind, again, if you look at it now, it seems overwhelming, and in a lot of ways, it is overwhelming. But our first show we did in 1999, we had a box truck, a bus, and a fog machine. And again, it's grown up. So last year, what did we have? 22 tractor trailers, a dozen buses, 100 people on the crew. But it's like any other business, you know, slow and steady build.
No pressure, Kayla, but you have a lot to deliver on these songs with the range of these songs, right?
Right. Well, you know, it's easy to do when you're singing and when you have a catalog of such great work. I mean, Paul O'Neill's lyricism and his poetry, it's just a beautiful catalog, beautiful lyrics to bring to life. So it's an honor, and it makes my job easy.
How do both of you keep this so fresh with Trans-Siberian Orchestra every year, to keep the music, you know, updated, and just to be excited about these shows and this tour?
I've been dreaming about this since 1964 when I seen the Beatles on Ed Sullivan when I was 2 years old. You know, for me, dude, it's like anybody else who's an art lover. You know, I started playing guitar. I couldn't spell the word money. You know, when I started playing the guitar, I didn't know what money was. I just knew that I loved the way this thing sounds in my hands. Every time I put that Les Paul around my neck and the house lights go down, the curtain comes up, I'm 15 all over again. You know,
you do have some nice Gibson Les Pauls on this tour and out on the road, Al. How many guitars do you take out on the road for the show?
You know what? I could do the whole tour with 2 guitars, but I'm a bougie little brat. So I take, you know, I look around my collection, and my daughter's job, both my 8-year-old and my 13-year-old daughters, their task is to pick out what guitars Daddy's taking out this year.
You've got more than the jazz positioning then, right?
The frequency response of the guitar's got to kind of dig in somewhere. You know, I got the bass in the bottom end of the keyboards. I got all the orchestral instruments playing. You know, there's a lot going on, the choir. So I take, you know, let's say I take 9, 10 guitars out with me. And then I have to hunt and peck to see, like, okay, is this guitar going to work in this song? You know, in my head it makes sense, but until we start rehearsing, it's like, nah, this guitar is not speaking the way it should in this song. Let's try it in another song.
TSO does incredible charity work. Would both of you mind speaking on that a little bit too?
Absolutely. Well, it all goes back to Paul O'Neill, the founder and creator of TSO. From the very, very jump, he said to Al one day, he said, look, I want to donate $1 from every ticket sold, and I want to put it back into every local community that we come through. And that's what he's done. And someone just told us that we sold our 20 millionth ticket. So if you do the math, I mean, $1 doesn't seem like a lot, but Paul O'Neill's been able to make a huge impact throughout these communities.
TSO is coming to Bridgestone on December 11th. What can fans expect to see when they bring their family to this show?
It's a big show, but Paul was, again, going back to '99, there were 7 cities on the itinerary. New York, Boston, Philly, Chicago, Detroit, whatever. We got 120 shows this year in 60 cities in 45 days, something like that, And Paul wanted this he just wanted his art to be recognized by the masses. Didn't care about commerce, didn't care about commercial success, but he wanted to at least give the people an opportunity to witness his art form. And he said, if we get lucky, maybe they'll react to it.
So you've both got to be in shape physically and mentally and musically, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of us get out of shape all year long. It's not like this. You talk about professional fighters cutting weight and doing all that stuff 6 weeks out from a fight. They're going to get back in shape. We kind of never are not in tour shape.
Al, you've also played with Alice Cooper, Megadeth, and so many other rock bands. So do you kind of get to expand out your playing some with TSO?
Yeah, I have, and thank you for mentioning that. And I've had an incredible career. It's going on 40 years since my first national gig back in 1985. But all those artists, all those bands, all those records, all those things, unbeknownst to me at the time, was all curriculum, getting me ready for what was to become my relationship with Paul O'Neill. So working with so many different artists and so many different genres of music, I had no idea. I was happy to be making money. Little did I know that this was going to kind of prepare me for what was to be all-encompassing musically.
And this tour allows you to buy one more guitar, which you need.
At least. The rule in my house is I get one guitar, my wife gets a pair of shoes.
Kayla and Al, where do our viewers need to go for tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra live?
Absolutely. Well, they can go to tsotickets.com or they can visit trans-siberian.
It's always great to have Kayla and Al from Trans-Siberian Orchestra on the show. Be sure and go see this show yourself live. It's probably coming to a major city near you. Incredible musicians, great songs, and it'll get you in the spirit of the year.
Great seeing you again. I'll talk to you soon. Have a happy holiday.
The Rocket Review is sponsored by Why Not Saloon.